এখান থেকে আমাদের বলেছে আমাদের বাড়িতে ফিরে যেতে।
কতদিন আগে তুমি এসছো এখানে?
লকডাউনের আগে।
কোথায় থাকতে এখানে? আধার কার্ড ছিল দিদি?
হ্যাঁ, আধার কার্ড, ভোটার কার্ড ছিল।
ভোট দিয়েছো? হ্যাঁ, ভোটও দিয়েছো।
There are many more such accounts, viewers. Rokeya's account has actually renewed concerns about how illegals may have accessed identity documents and state welfare systems in parts of Bengal. While individual claims require official verification, Rokeya's case reflects apprehensions that have surfaced during the ongoing special intensive revision exercise. But the West Bengal government is still questioning the process. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has written to the Election Commission saying a BLO died by suicide due to pressure of the SIR. The BJP has called it signs of desperation from the Chief Minister. The CM calls it an unplanned and relentless workload. The BJP alleges Trinamool Congress's top leadership is rattled. CM Mamata Banerjee has claimed 28 lives have been lost, and some due to fear and others due to stress of the SIR process. The BJP is contending that it was the Trinamool Congress who benefited from the illegals and bogus voters. While CM alleges it's a bid to please political masters, the BJP says that desperate Trinamool Congress is trying to shield an entire ecosystem. Let's dive straight into the debate, viewers. Are illegals in our country not a problem? Are they not by nature parasites who are going to not just tap into the resources meant for the citizens of Bharat, they are also going to encroach upon lands and also jobs which are meant for citizens of Bharat? Shishir Bajoria, spokesperson of the Bengal BJP with us, Manojit Mondal, political analyst with us, and Ratan Shardaji, author and someone whose thoughts lean towards the RSS. He's also written and studied the RSS over the years with us. This is a social issue too. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Shishir Bajoria, who are these people who are standing in Hakimpur right now? How are they in Bengal? Is that not a fair question to ask? How did they enter the country and how did they get documents made?
These questions have been answered by those very people who are now standing at Hakimpur and various land borders wanting to go back to Bangladesh because of the fear of the SIR. And they are very categorically and plainly saying how they came in, how they got their papers, and what have they been doing all these years. Somebody even said he's come here as a child, he's got married, but he's a Bangladeshi, he's going back. He's even got his papers made in the name of his father-in-law. And by the way, one very important thing, the Honorable Chief Minister, I'll call her Honorable till the day she's Chief Minister, which will finish very soon. But I'll call her Honorable till then. What did she write? That the BLOs are under pressure, they are falling ill, committing suicide. I have written today, as we speak, I have sent you, you can show it to your viewers, a letter where I have asked for suspension of 3 DMs because these DMs have forced the daylights out of BLOs. Share your OTP so that we will use your ECI app. And I have named those districts, Purbo Bardhaman, Purbo Mednipur and Hooghly. These DMs who also stand in as DEOs, they have been forcing and forcing and forcing. How did we get to know? Is these BLOs who have been threatened with suspension, who have been threatened with transfer, who have been threatened with loss of salary by these absolute corrupt DMs who serve the, not the West Bengal government, who serve the Trinamool Congress. We have written just this evening, Bharatiya Janata Party has written to the...
I have the letter to the CMO Bengal. I was just opening up your Twitter account. You posted this about 18 minutes ago, viewers. I'm going to request the team at the back end to try and pull it out. Shishir Bajoria's Twitter has this letter which I'm going to read out right now, viewers. This letter says very clearly, this is to bring to your urgent notice that in several districts, including Bengal, including Hooghly, Medinipur, and Purba Bardhaman. Hooghly, Medinipur, and Purba Bardhaman. So I can read it. I'm just turn it around in this camera and then show it to you, viewers. So Okay, let's go landscape and see if we can. Yeah, this is better to read. There you go. This is to bring to your urgent notice that in several districts, including Purba Bhai Medinipur, Hooghly, and Purba Bardwan, BLOs are being pressurized by DMs and DEOs to share their personal OTP for login into the BLO app. This is completely illegal, violates ECI norms, and directly compromises the security and integrity of voter data. BLO OTP is strictly for individual authentication and cannot be demanded or used by any other authority. BLOs are working under fear and coercion, and this malpractice is spreading rapidly. I request immediate action from your office to immediate suspension pending inquiry of DM and DEO, Purba Bardwan, Purba Medinipur and Hooghly. Issue strict instructions to all district authorities not to resort to any illegal activities. Protect BLOs from such coercion. Thanking you, yours sincerely, Shishir Bajoria. Address to the CEO, Chief Election Officer, West Bengal, Election Commission of India, 21 Netaji Subhash Road, Kolkata, 700001. BLOs being forced to share OTP by DM and DEO. This is the Bharatiya Janata Party letterhead. Shishir Bajoria, is this the letter that you were talking about that you have written to the Chief Election Officer of Bengal?
Now, the obvious question is, how did we come to know this?
Yeah.
These BLOs, I can see the smile on Manojit's face. I'm answering his question before he can even ask. These BLOs who are under these kind of threats, they are informing. Let's be very clear. I'm displaying my source. They are the ones who are informing. Please save us. Please help us. That is why we have even written protect these BLOs. These are those BLOs. And we have not been vague. We have named the 3 districts. And in the next meeting with the CEO, we will even give the real names of the DM. The names are very public. They are, after all, holding these posts of DMs. And these are the 3 who have already come to light. But this kind of fiddle is going on in many, many districts. And this is where the BLOs are under huge pressure. Second, why BLOs are under pressure, I've written another letter yesterday. Very clearly, in Salt Lake, Bidhannagar, 2 parts which have been converted, these are community centers which have been converted into TMC offices. One under the aegis of the fire minister and one under the aegis of the chairman Bidhannagar, where BLOs have been forced that you will call the voters here, you will not go house to house. This is what is happening in West Bengal. Why all this? Because they are scared. Don't we remember the famous one-liner of our honorable CM? Bangla mein boli thi, je goru doodh daye tar lati khabo. I will bear the kick of the milch cow. Who are these milch cows? These are the milch cows you see on the border. These are the milch cows who are now wanting to go back to their homeland.
Well, I'm going to check with our team if they can pull out the law, the rule book as far as the Representation of People's Act, and whether or not and what action can be taken against DMs who are forcing BLOs to give their OTP so that they can lock people in and they can use their ECIR. Now, this is a serious offence and this is serious transgression. This is also at a time when DMs have been transferred. The moment the Election Commission announced the dates when the SIR exercise will commence in Bengal and some of the other states, all the DMs were transferred and they were rotated. Now, whether it was a routine transfer or rotation or whether it was in reaction or in preparation for the SIR exercise, the jury is out there because there is huge politics. We put out the whole letter for our viewers to peruse. Manojit Mandal, your response, please.
No, you want me to respond to a group of leaders who call themselves BJP, whose preeminence as peddlers of liars and untruth is quite well known, led by none other than Shubhendu Adhikari, who has been talking about dhamaka in Bengal. I mean, do we want me to respond to such letters, such trash posted by BJP? And for the time being, Mr. Anand, don't get me amazed. It appears that you have also become the mouthpiece of this letter of BJP. You was a very preeminent channel. It doesn't behove you. I mean, the BLOs are not talking about nothing. BLOs are not complaining. If the complaints are being made by a political party whose credibility in Bengal is quite well known. So why should I respond? The fact remains that people are dying. And it is the people's family who are dying. They are complaining. This is because of this unprepared and a humongously stupid exercise carried out by the Election Commission, which should have been done in 2 to 3 years. They are doing it in 2 to 3 months. It's because of that people are dying, not just the common people, but including the BLOs. I also have WhatsApp coming from a BLO saying that we are under tremendous pressure because of the Election Commission of India. One particular village that's on the other side of the Ganges in Higli, there are 900 plus people, their names are deleted. One panelist who appears even on your show, Mr. Anand, our good friend, a senior citizen, Mrs. Shikha Mukherjee, a veteran journalist, her name is not there in the 2002 election. What are you talking about? Is this an exercise with preparedness? That's the simple reason the Honorable Chief Minister of Bengal and Mr. Bajoria, whether you call
if the names are not there in the electoral rules, the SIR exercise is to add those names. If you have identity proof and you can prove, you can submit documents in that list of 11 documents which can give you super. No, 1 minute, Manojit Mandal. Before you take, and you're most welcome. I respect you a lot. You are most welcome to take jibes at me, but I would also like you to respond to what's happening at Hakimpur. I would also like you to respond to what's happening in Hakimpur. How are people there in Bengal? With voter ID cards, with documents, drawing government benefits, but they are all Bangladeshi. So that means there are illegals in Bengal.
I will respond. First of all, how did they enter? It's because of BSF. And second of all, if they are procuring voter ID card, Aadhaar card, it's also because of Election Commission of India.
No.
And maximum number of illegals are in your
the local authority is the DM, sir. No, 1 minute. I'm not fighting or I'm not shouting. What I'm trying. 1 minute.
And you are not giving me 7 seconds.
You've spoken more than 7 seconds. You know that too. What I'm trying to say is that the voter ID, Aadhaar verification, all of that, the local authority is the DM
it is
of the
done
district.
Under the AGS of the government of India.
The authoritative power to sign off and to allow this is the local DM of that particular district. That's what I'm trying to say. The passport verification, passport comes. No, it is done by the local DMs of these districts.
The authority lies with the government of India.
The local signing authority and the verification authority and the signatory under whom these Aadhaar centers are controlled and the passport offices under the DM. Ji, go ahead.
Why don't you allow me to speak? I'm laughing at your pity.
Go ahead.
How did these people make this explosion under your nose, Mr. Amit Shah's nose in Delhi? Why 12, 13 people were killed? Why couldn't you protect them? Here illegals are entering because of BSF. And here, the people who are living under your nose, Haryana and in the NCR region, they are coming in the daylight and making this explosion, killing 13 people. Amit Shah should resign.
Don't digress. Let's talk Bengal. Let's talk Bangladeshis in Bengal. Let's talk Bangladeshis in Bengal. Who is the Home Minister of State? Is law and order a state issue or not? Has Bengal ever flagged under the Home Minister of Bengal the issue of illegals being present? Have those people who have been flagged off by the BSF and handed over to the local police station been sent for deportation? Have been sent for deportation or not? Or have they been released into society and allowed to prepare documents? What is the reality on ground? It is very convenient. It is very convenient. Who resisted the fencing of these boundaries? Who resisted the fencing of the boundaries for the longest time? Who is still resisting the fencing of the boundaries and trying to impede the fencing of the boundaries with Bangladesh?
Nobody. Land has been given to the BSF.
And not a single respondent has actually said. Not a single respondent has said that they paid the BSF and then they entered. They have paid local women. They have paid conduits. They have paid organized entities. That's what Kamalika has got from ground. We'll try and get Kamalika on the phone line and then get it verified. 1 minute. Don't co-opt the whole conversation in the garb of an argument. Dr. Ratan Shardaji, what is visible now? Is it not right that the local verification of Aadhaar and voter ID verification has to come from the DM? The DM has the powers. If there is an allegation made against 3 districts, could the BJP not have named other also? The onus on proof, proof is on Shishir Bajoria to prove who are these districts, and they can even get the details to the election commission. Should the election commission should not immediately look if there are DMs who are asking for the OTPs and the passcodes from the BLO officers, what action should be taken from them? Ratan Sharda ji, sir, thank you for your patience. Just quickly asking Kamalika. Kamalika, thank you for your time. You were in Hakimpur. How many of the respondents that you spoke with, all of those Bangladeshis, how many of them said that they paid the BSF to enter?
See, they have said they have paid money to the touts. That's what they were saying. That they were women, they were male. That's what they were mentioning. They were mentioning that they were brought here during lockdown, before lockdown, in the middle of the night. They don't remember that from which way, which border, which area of Bengal they entered. But they were purposefully brought in the night, that they told us. And also, what is most important, some of them has paid 5,000. Some of them have paid 6,000, and some of them have even paid 10,000 to come to India.
Then how did they get their voter ID and Aadhaar, Kamalika? How did they get their local documents?
And they were saying that local dadas made it, local dadas helped it. And the most important point, Anand,
local
is
dadas
that
helped, right?
Yes, and what the most important point, Anand, is that when I asked that where did they got the Lakshmir Bhandar card, which is a government program, then they say, then this Rokeya, she said that she got it from Duare Sarkar, which is a government program. Now, from a government program, how come this person who is a Bangladeshi showing fake Aadhaar card, showing fake voter card, is getting Lakshmir Bhandar? That is what is very, very scary. That means most of them have also got benefits of the government.
Was it Amit Shah who started Duare Sarkar, Kamalika?
This is the state government's program, and Lakshmir Bhandar is a program.
No, Duare Sarkar was by the BJP and Amit Shah, was it?
No, this program is by the state government, and this is an initiative of Mamata Banerjee.
In Bengal, who has the authority for issuing voter ID cards and Aadhaar? Is it not the powers? Do they not rest with the DM?
Yeah, definitely. These are all questions that is being raised by the opposition, and these are these visuals, and I have been staying with this entire, the population which has come there for the last 4 days. This is something which is never seen, and this is the picture which shows that yes, there are infiltrators, and they come in this way.
They stay. Thank you for that, Kamalika. Ratan Sharda ji.
Anand, if you permit.
I have seen many debates.
Shishir ji coming back.
And every time there is a charge of violence or rapes or crime, or now this voter ID issue, SIR issue, I see the arrogance and the utter contempt of the TMC spokespersons about their own responsibility, about the media who questions them, and about the very people whom they want to represent. And is it something new? Under the Marxist government of 30 years and then 30 years of this TMC government, what have we seen? We have seen continuous degradation. Buddhadev Bhattacharya, who agreed that there will be illegal migrants or also voters, he lost the election. So today, Bangladeshi immigrants illegal immigrants control the election process of Bengal. They decide. That is why Mamata says ki daru gai ki laat bhi khayenge. Now, coming to this question, what is the information fog that these people are creating? On one side, they are saying SIR is a fraud. They are saying SIR is not required. Is SIR being done for the first time? Do they want to say the deletion of dead people and insertion of new voters should not be done? Are they saying the electoral roll will remain sacrosanct from 1950 onwards and should not be done anything about it? Has it not happened earlier? Why the blame now? And BLOs and DMs all come under state government. Police comes under state government. If TMC has no intent or no responsibility for law and order, for tracing the illegal immigrants, for seeing that they don't get fake IDs, they should resign. If they are a state government, on what right they are sitting there, but they can't control these
Here is the
issues?
thing. There is an organized racket. There is cut money. There is this entire, Shishir ji can tell us what the local terminology for this is. The local dadas have taken money to get these papers done. Could they have done it unless there is a certain level of political heft and muscle behind them? How is it that Duare Sarkar is the one that gives them the benefits of Lakshmir Bhandar, which is supposed to go for the citizens of the country?
How did they reach Duare Sarkar?
That is law and order. Last I read was a state subject, and Bengal being a border state should be far more concerned about illegals, especially when the current chief minister, when she was not in chief minister but she was in the opposition and part of the NDA, raised this in parliament and accused the left at that time of brazenly admitting Bangladeshis into Bengal. And she was concerned about the security and the integrity of Bengal and the country. Now for the last 11 years plus, if she is the chief minister plus the home minister of the state, is it an unfair question to ask? If there were no Bangladeshis in Bengal, why are they all out there at Hakimpur right now and queuing up to get back into Bengal because they are afraid of this entire process? Shishir Bajoria.
Okay. Few bullet.
Can you prove these accusations if the CEO asks you? Can you prove that this is what is happening? Because that's one of the first things Manojit Mandal asked. What proof do you have? If the CEO of Bengal, the Chief Election Officer of Bengal and also the Chief Election Commissioner's office asks you whether or not this is being committed by DMs, will you be able to give them proof?
Anand, yes. We have asked for an appointment. And as soon as we get it, we will be proving it. We will be naming those DMs. And now let me tell you about these, how did they get the Aadhaar and the voter ID? We have submitted to Election Commission videos of Trinamool leaders on public domain announcing in their sabhas, go to so-and-so, naming the person, the point person of each area who will get you these cards. These people are very good in making these cards. You will get your EPIC, you will get your Aadhaar. Go to them, naming and saying how good they are.
You are saying you have videos of this?
Yes, sir.
And you have submitted it to the Chief Election Commission?
Yes, sir, we have submitted. We have submitted to Chief Electoral Officer of State of West Bengal. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. And now let me tell you about this bogey of 2 to 3 years SIR. This is a bogey which our opposition keeps talking. 2002, West Bengal SIR was done in no more than 3 months. 3 months. This is a bogey.
That was when there was no technology. That was when there was no access all across, and there was that was when the level of digital verification that's possible today was not there. Yeah.
But then Secretary of CPM, Shri Anil Biswas. I'm naming him who made the statement. And this thing in 2002, West Bengal, 28 lakh voters were struck off when the voter list was only 4.5 crores. And you know what was Mamata Banerjee's reaction? She applauded it. She applauded it. So what is the difference between then and today? She was the opposition leader. Now she is in the government, hanging on by the skin of her teeth with these fake voters. That is the whole thing. And Anand,
whether or
not,
so right. Please.
You were so right. In 2005, in Lok Sabha, she stormed in with a bunch of papers. She was so angry. She thought she's throwing at the face of Shri Somnath Chatterjee, the speaker. She did not even see he was not sitting on the chair. There was the deputy speaker sitting. She threw it and she shouted, "You are not letting me raise this point in Lok Sabha. There are more than a crore of Bangladeshi voters. How can the vote be done fairly in West Bengal?" She is on court. This is on record of our parliament. What more?
Right. Now, that she has won or she's got the mandate or she continues to be chief minister on the back of these illegal voters, I'm not willing to buy that argument because she had an overwhelming majority and Didi continues to be very, very popular and the most popular leader in Bengal today. There's nobody that matches her stature. So,
the difference is 45 lakh votes.
Sir, credit has to be given where it is due. But given that it is Didi, given that she's the longest serving chief, she's been the chief minister for such a long time, the owner, and because she raised this issue in 2005, the owner should have been on her that Bengal doesn't become a hotbed for illegals. Now, if that number from 1 crore has ballooned to 3 crore, who is going to suffer? The people of Bengal will suffer. The people of Bharat will suffer. And these Bangladeshis are not going to stay on only in Bengal. They are going to then move on, take the passenger trains and go across to other states of the country.
Maximum illegals are there in your state of Assam. I challenge you. Bring out the number.
What is
40,000
your state?
Rohingyas are there in Jammu and Kashmir.
No.
40,000 they have been
What is your
detected.
state?
What is your
state?
Assam?
40,000 Rohingyas are there in your state of Jammu and Kashmir. That is the
No, what is
affidavit
your
given in the
state? These
Supreme
are
Court of
our
India.
states, sir. They
How
are
many
all
of them
our
have been
states.
deported?
No, he does not consider.
No, what
all
is this your
states.
state,
How many
sir?
have been deported?
He does not
You
consider
have
all
special
states.
What
hatred
is this
towards the
your
people of
state?
Bengal.
No, 1
He
minute.
does
You have
not
special
consider-
hatred
No,
That's
towards
Professor
the people
Manojit
of
Mandal,
Bengal.
when you
And
when you
that's
say
why
your
raise this
state, what
issue.
do you mean by
That's why
your
you rake
state?
up this issue.
Are you addressing the
Maximum number of
BJP and telling
illegals
them
are
your
in
state?
Assam and 40,000 Rohingyas in Jammu and Kashmir. Both are ruled by you.
Okay,
But you have special
no,
hatred
when you
towards
say
the
you,
people of Bengal
no,
and especially for
no, when you
Namtadi.
say you,
That's why
are
rake
you,
up the issue. Continue to do this.
Manojit
People
Mandal,
of
I
Bengal
just,
have replied to you and will reply in 2026 as well.
okay,
Wait for
Manojit
6 more
Mandal,
months.
Manojit
And
Mandal,
mark my words.
Manojit Mandal,
Mark
when
my
you,
words.
Manojit
Mark my
Mandal,
words.
1 minute,
Trinamool is
Anand
going
here,
to
1
get
second. I
at
just
least
want you to
one
clarify
more
this.
than what last
Please
time.
clarify this. When you
Mark
say
my
your state, are you telling the BJP?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm not telling you. You can't
okay,
be BJP,
okay,
Mr.
okay,
Anand.
no,
You're
no.
not BJP.
No,
God
not
sake.
you. I'm just saying
I'm
that
not
they are
saying you.
collectively our states because this is our country. When you say you,
No, I'm
then
addressing
it was being
BJP. I'm
misinterpreted. So I
addressing
just
BJP,
wanted
not
that
you.
clarification. So you're saying that BJP ruled
you are a
states
good
also
friend
have
of- you are
illegals.
a good friend of
One
mine.
minute. So you're saying
You
BJP
can't
ruled
be
states.
BJP.
BJP ruled states also have a huge number of illegals.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I'm not
Assam is
saying-
not
I'm not
resisting
saying
the SIR
you.
process.
I
Assam
want-
SIR
Assam-
process
Assam
has
has
to be
got-
under
Assam has got
Assam
special
SIR
SIR.
process has to be under a
Yes, but
different
it's not
act
SSR
because of
or
what
something
happened in
like that.
1971.
And that too after lot of agitations and debates, Assam has been brought in under special something called
Correct.
SSR or something like that, right?
Correct.
Maximum
So
number of
Assam,
illegals
but
in
they are
Assam.
not. But they will conduct the election commission will conduct the SIR exercise as per the rule or the act that is enacted under which Assam has to be governed
Whatever.
electorally.
And it
No,
is according to the
administered.
confession of the
But
Chief
sir,
Minister
that
of
doesn't
Assam
take
that
away
illegals
the
are gonna
number
hang on.
of
Mr. Anand,
number of
one more
illegals who
point.
are present
If
there.
if you allow me to make one
Jay,
more point,
Jay.
look at this. Border districts. The BJP is doing good in the border districts of Bengal. Please check your facts. In Nadia and North Bengal part, where according to if their estimation, even the illegals are there. Motua voters, Motua who have come to India for some years ago, and they want to give them citizens, they are angry on BJP. So
Okay,
match
that is
on,
another
Mr.
question that's
Bajoria.
been asked by the
They are
Motuas
welcoming
themselves.
this.
What
The
happens
fact
to us
that
under SIR?
unfortunately
So Shishir
people
Bajoria
have
answered that.
joined.
Okay, one
That's
minute.
the most unfortunate part of the story.
What
People have
happens to the
joined.
Motuas or the Dalits of Bangladesh, the minorities
Bring
of
it on.
Bangladesh
We are ready.
who are forced to
Unfortunate
flee,
part is
who
that
are
it is unprepared,
persecuted?
it is an
Will they
unprepared
all be
exercise that people have
administered?
joined.
Will they all be given citizenship under the Citizenship Amendment Act? Shishir Bajoria, what happens to them? It's a question even Motua leaders have asked.
Well, very clearly, Anand, okay, one little clarification before I answer this question. I am sitting here as a BJP Karyakarta. I do not masquerade as a political analyst as my friend is doing. At least I have
I'm
the
not.
guts to say I'm TMC.
My identity is
I have the
amply
guts
clear
to
to
say
you.
I'm TMC.
No,
Arey
no.
Babu,
Professor
don't-
Manojit Mandal is a claimed Trinamool Congress supporter. He is currently not an official spokesperson, so he is not. That's and there he is not making any bones about it.
No, no,
Yeah,
I'm
go
not-
ahead.
but
I'm now
I
coming to
can
the
be
point.
anything else,
I'm now
but I'll
coming
never
to the
change
point.
my color.
What
Okay.
happened
I
to
can
the
tell you one
Bangladesh?
thing, I can
Okay.
be anything else, but I'll never change my color.
Okay.
Mr. Bajoria,
Let
I'll never
him
change my
complete.
color.
Let him. I have limited time. I want a
Now,
comment from
let me come
Ratan
to
Shardaji
your
also.
question, Anand.
Yeah.
Let me come to your question. Very simple. The CA was enacted for the minorities of 3 countries who were persecuted and had to leave their country because of religious persecution. And CA was enacted because of that. Now today, the CA exercise is still going on under the SIR, while the SIR is also running simultaneously. So those who get the citizenship under CA are Indian citizens. It's as simple.
Okay.
Now-
So we'll see whether that exercise concludes before the SIR time also lapses. Ratan Shardaji.
my
Now,
knowledge is going on
one aspect, sir, is that the moment the systematic intensive revision comes into place and it is implemented properly, those who don't have valid documents are worried. Now, when we see the actual number of people who don't have actual valid documents, we have a problem. Ratanji. I think we just seem to have lost him momentarily there.
Can I quickly come in on that point?
Yes, Shishir Bajoria, yes.
So let me quote one person who till recently was a TMC MP in Rajya Sabha. till recently. And by the way, by no stretch of imagination, you can ever call him a BJP. He is a former CEO of the state of West Bengal, a former IAS officer, retired long back.
Right.
He quantified in a TV program that if SIR is done properly, 1.5 to 1.8 crore voters' name will struck off. And he has not gone by any other thing other than population increase and decrease because of demise. Nothing else. He's gone only on
From the TFR and the mortality rates, and if you conclude
Exactly.
and say and the demographic progression or increase or
Exactly.
decrease in population and the rate of increase, which is something which is very directly calculatable, and he's being perhaps economical when he says 1.5 crore. There are others who believe that this number, if it was 1 crore in 2005, 20 years down the line, this number, and especially post-COVID, this number could balloon up to 2.5 to 3 crore, and that's a sizable number, and it's a huge number.
And the vote gap is only 45 lakhs between TMC and
Why are
BJP.
you
Correct. Now this
anticipating
SIR exercise is going to be pan Bharat. Not a single state is going to be done, and it is going to be done in the same way 2002, 2003. The exercise started with Bihar, and it went on to the other
Assam
states.
first.
It's the same thing.
Began in the
Sir,
northeastern stuff first.
Assam, you know,
You have begun in the
you're an
northeastern
educated,
state, which
intelligent
share
person, well aware of the
which share
rules,
borders with
and
three
you know
countries.
what the election commission
Should have
said.
begun
that
in
Assam
northeastern
cannot,
state, which shares borders with three countries.
Assam does not come under
Right?
this. Assam comes under a different act, and that exercise will be conducted. Over a period of time, it will be conducted. Priority has been given to states which will be going to the polls in the next year.
Tripura is also going to polls.
So they will do it, sir. They will conduct the exercise. But Bengal is a bigger state, and they will do it. Why do you have a problem if they do it in Bengal if there is nothing to hide? If the local government and the local DMs and the local establishment administration has nothing to hide, they should cooperate and not fearmonger. Okay, Ratan Shardaji, final word on this before we move on. Yes, Ratan Shardaji.
I do not understand whether these people are opposed to SIR or NCR, or they're afraid of the illegal voters going out. Only people who are opposing SIR are the people who are depending on these, these illegal voters. Otherwise, should be afraid otherwise. If they've got all the right kind of people voting for them, why should they protest against it? I do not understand it at all. If you want a clean government, you want a clean election, you must have SIR. As rightly pointed, it has not been done, but please don't shout in between. Just being shouting, you do not make a point, Mr.
He lost on talk time because there was a power cut and he was disconnected. So please allow him. Let him complete.
Can you tell
I'm going to move
me
on.
why they hate NCR? Why they hate NCR? Why they hate SIR? Why they don't want clean election system? That is a question.
That's not NCR,
I have no
that is
answer
NRC.
for that. He has no answer.
That's NRC,
Just
not
because your
NCR.
SIR been
Mr.
done
Sarda,
earlier,
NRC.
do you mean that others should not do SIR? Are you saying your exception to SIR? What is your objection? Be clear. Are you objecting to the overload of the BLO workers? Are you objecting to SIR? Are you objecting to removal of illegal voters? Be clear. Don't try to wipe away saying that बाकी state क्यों नहीं कर रहा, सब करेंगे. It is
Right.
all India.
Right. Now the proof is out there.
It will happen
There are
across
2-3
all
issues.
the
I have to wind
states.
up this debate and move on to the other one. But viewers, as we wind up, 2-3 issues which stand out. One, there is a huge number of illegals in Bengal. They have all infiltrated from Bangladesh, and they are worried about the SIR process because their papers are dubious. So कागज दिखाना पड़ेगा and इनके कागज गलत हैं. Secondly, there is an attempt to intimidate BLOs by the DMs, and it's a serious allegation which the BJP has put out. They have written a letter to the chief election officer in Bengal, and they claim to have proof that such a thing is happening. Third, if this has got to be a transparent process, then the authorities have to make sure that not a single person who is an illegal voter makes it into that voter roll. But more importantly, the Motuas and those who are eligible for citizenship under the Citizenship Amendment Act, then what happens to them and their fate? These are 3 important aspects around this entire SIR and Bengal that need to be addressed. I thank all our guests for joining us on debate number 1. Ratan Shardaji stays on as we shift focus to another big development, viewers. The Delhi police, while hearing the bail pleas of accused Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid, brought in the issue of Delhi riots case, drawing a parallel between the accused between both the cases. The Delhi police said that intellectuals, when they guide and become terrorists, they become more dangerous than those working at the ground. These are real prey, and because of state support, state fundings and subsidies, they become doctors, activists. These type of activists are dangerous. So from the 2020 issues and Sharjeel Imam CA 2019 and 2019-2020 and that case going on to the issue of the 10-11 blasts and this entire Al-Falah J&K module, we have an issue at hand. Sharjeel Imam, Delhi riots accused, Dr. Muzammil, white-collar terrorists. Are these the backbone to this entire intellectual terrorists, white-collared radicals? And are there far many more hiding in plain sight? And is this a real threat to Bharat, viewers? Kulbir Krishan, former IPS and ex-member NSAB, Ishkaran Bhandari, lawyer, with us, and we're hoping to get Ratan Sharda also back very, very soon. Namaste and Jai Hind. Thank you for your time. Kulbir Krishan ji, the Delhi police drawing a parallel with intellectual terrorists, white-collar terrorists or Safed Posh Dehshatgard, if you may say that. In both the Sharjeel Imam matter, Delhi riots case and the Delhi 10-11 blast case. Kulbir ji.
See, in every case, it has always been intellectuals and highly educated people who have been guiding, whether they are terrorists, whether they are movements or Naxals or urban Naxals or whatever you call them. The cannon fodder may be tribals, but the actual brains have always been intellectuals, and intellectuals are anytime far more dangerous than those who are cannon fodder. The myth that is spread that only uneducated or poor people become terrorists is absolutely a figment of imagination spread by those who are covering fire to these intellectuals. The intellectuals have always been the brain. They have been the ones. In fact, Sharjeel Imam, if you listen to his speeches, has always been talking about chicken's neck and how we can cut off the northeast of India and how the entire world press will come when Trump comes. And all those facts have been brought to the notice of the Honorable Supreme Court by the Delhi police. So it's nothing new, it's nothing surprising. And the challenge before the intelligence and security agencies is how to tackle these intellectual terrorists or precursors of terrorists.
Now, there's more before we bring in Ishkaran and Ratan Sharda ji. According to top sources, the module is a hybrid indoctrination network mix of digital radicalization, academic grooming, covert campus activities and logistical support masked under legitimate educational movements. Now, I'm reading what the extracts are from, and the interpretation is based on Dr. Muzammil, and you can juxtapose this to the entire Delhi riots case together. And there it's just the same continuum. Security agencies believe that the terror network behind the Delhi Red Fort blast case relied heavily on educated youth who could operate discreetly in hospitals, universities and hostel spaces, traditionally considered low risk by intelligence grids. It is within this environment that Muzammil, born in 1992 in Koil, Pulwama, was slowly drawn into an extremist framework designed to convert high-achieving students into operational assets. And top sources say that the module functioned on a two-layer structure. The first was digital indoctrination, carried out via encrypted platforms. Muzammil's initial exposure reportedly came through Telegram handlers such as Hashim, Kamran and Dr. Ukasha, who introduced him to radical ecosystems like the Farzadani Darul Uloom Deoband and the Kafilaya Qurba. These channels acted as the ideological playgrounds, combining religious indoctrination, propaganda and curated messaging to psychologically isolate individuals from mainstream society. The second layer involved in-person grooming within educational institutions, particularly those hosting large outstation student populations. These colleges, sources say, offered the perfect breeding ground because of students living alone, minimal local scrutiny and a natural atmosphere of academic stress and ambition. Recruiters targeted individuals who were isolated, ideologically curious or seeking validation. This ecosystem extended beyond classrooms, closed-door ideological sessions, late-night discussions framed as academic circles and academic trips that doubled as logistics reconnaissance became routine. Investigators have also uncovered a network of rented premises near campuses functioning as safe houses, allowing covert meetings under the guise of study groups and exam preparations. Ishkaran Bhandari, you could pick up this entire modus operandi and juxtapose that to Jamia and also to the other campuses that were active in 2020.
Anand, the modus operandi behind various terrorist attacks is the same. But one thing which needs to be nipped in the bud finally is where this ecosystem comes and says he was a university student, he was a professor, he was a person from a very good background. They are all these terrorists are the same, whether it be a doctor or whether it be a laborer who's putting a puncher on the road. The only difference is their roles. The roles may be different. And to be very honest, at one time, it used to be said about mafia. It's the same thing about terrorists because they're all interlinked. What the Godfather said: a lawyer with a briefcase can steal more than 100 men with gun. Same way, a doctor can kill 100 times more than an ordinary person on the street can, and that has come out in this case. They are using their education to increase by multiple folds the damage they can cause. That person caught trying to create ricin. These doctors who were all there, and I wonder what would have happened to their patient if some survey is done into their patients they treated with this sort of a mindset. This is a walking time bomb. We have people propagating why they should do suicide even though they have everything in the world. So this has been known for a long time. It's nothing new. The only difference is, and even before that video came out, we saw attempts being made to whitewash these terrorists, including in certain pamphlets where they were saying what a great humanitarian he was, what a great student he was, how he was treating people, and how his entire family is shocked. Of course, and how his entire family loved him and he loved his family. Of course, Hitler was loved by certain people. But that is the reality of whitewashing in India. Unfortunately, after so many terror attacks, we still pretend to be surprised that educated are doing this. We still pretend to be in shock and say, oh, finally this parda is over of who can do terror. They are all terrorists depending on their role. Education has nothing to do with, except only adding to the degree of danger.
Ratan Sharda ji?
Anand, you will remember that the most
We're going to come back to you, Ratanji. It's a very patchy. It's a very patchy network. We'll try and get you on the phone also, patch you on the phone also, while we try and get you on via Zoom. Bear with us, viewers, on that. Yes, Ishkaran, quickly, and then I'll bring in Kulveer Krishan. Yeah.
Because I just wanted to come back to one more thing. You said that how it relates to Delhi riots. You saw how Delhi riots, there was this entire narrative of women on front and women can't do it and all these Shaheen Bagh ki dadis, and we saw how a woman in this case was a mastermind. The second narrative, very important, is to know it is not about gender also, because that is very often used to stop police from taking decisive action when they are trying to do chakka jam. Everybody, irrespective of gender or education, can be equally involved in terror. I think finally that consensus should be arrived in public conscience.
No, and women are equally radicalized or motivated, and there is this entire brigade that's created. There is also documented on the Delhi riots case how women were gathered, Rohingya women and some others who were gathered at that area to try and block and to try and create a smoke screen at that time and block entry of certain elements. Okay, Ratanji is back. Yes, Ratanji.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi went off. Okay, see, we will remember the most popular and loved preacher of our secular class was Dr. Zakir Hussain, a doctor from Mumbai, who preached his violent doctrine all through years. Many terrorists have agreed that they were indoctrinated by Dr. Zakir Naik. There are IT engineers who did immense blasts all over India, from Bhatkal town where they were trained and they were engineers there. And also, if you look at what video evidence of Sharji Riman has shown today, that these are not isolated incidences. An educated terrorist, like Ishkaran pointed out, is more dangerous than the lay average gangster or average terrorist, because they have got sophistication. They've been brainwashed since childhood. So brainwashing in the childhood doesn't go out. And when Sharji Riman spoke, he was supported by all these so-called liberals, so-called seculars. When he was arrested, he was touring all over India. He went to Assam, he went to various other places, and he was spreading this kind of violent, highly volatile, highly inflammatory speeches, communal violence, anti-national outpourings. All this was happening, and there are people on the ground who are supporting it. Delhi Riot 2020, same organ workers of these terrorists were supporting them. They are highly educated. So fear is that this is not one-off incidents, neither the doctors nor a Sharji Riman. There's a complete network of people supported from outside. Sharji Riman's doctors are just nutballs of a very vast scheme which is running globally.
Right, but
because you will see same approach.
So then we are also then seeing, Kulveer Krishan ji, an evolution of this entire jihad narrative. It's now becoming, co-opting intellectuals, raising the entire nature of jihad to a very intellectual force.
And then they co-opted intellectual first.
Yeah, but
it's a mix, On the one side, it is intellectual. On the other side, it is deeply ingrained in religion. But I can't understand. Al Falah University, the person involved in the 2008 blasts in Gorakhpur and other places studied in the same university. Why did it not come under the scanner of, the UGC, security, intelligence, local administration, etc.? Instead, it has been growing from strength to strength. You cannot have a university almost in the middle of nowhere, right on the doorstep of Delhi, which is becoming a cradle of terrorist activities. I fail to understand why none of the people involved, how was land use changed, how were they allowed to construct buildings, were they buying acetone, hydroxide and other things which normally labs don't buy.
Right.
So there are a lot of fishy things going on there which need thorough investigation, and it's correct as you said that it's a global movement, but the focus is on India, and we have to be very careful, and we have to revamp our traditional systems because they've been found wanting.
No,
In
but
fact,
how
India's
does
traditional strength was on human int.
Yeah. Ji, please complete.
May I continue?
Ji, please complete.
Yeah. But of late, in the last 20 years, we've been focusing more and more on tech int, But the best form of intelligence is human intelligence, and we have to have good and well-placed sources in these organizations, which will lead to fantastic results, as we are finding out in the fight against left-wing extremism and so on.
Yeah, see, because there are a lot of these people who are exposed to this radical vitriol, who rejected it, who didn't accept it, who heard it out and did not do it. So there is also the fact that if they must have relayed this Ishkaran to about 1,000 people, say 10, 15, 20 would have reacted positively to this radical vitriol, the rest would have rejected, but the rest did not even flag it off. The worry is that they rejected it, they said it's not for me, but they didn't flag it off and say, hey, there's this aji-baji going, this doctor or this MD pediatrics or someone, this faculty member is pushing, incendiary ideology in the garb of education.
Anand, I differ from you where you say that they preached it to many people who rejected it. What proof do you have of how many people rejected it? How many people are waiting to do it? So these presumptions are too generous. We do not know. It's for the investigative agencies to find out.
Right.
A 2008 person was studying here. You might have thought in 2008 that other people have rejected it. We've come out and find in 2025, people haven't rejected it. So these presumptions where we are just willing to give leeway to people, no matter what evidence we come, is also a problem we are facing, I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
So to my mind, people who didn't flag it, who knew it, should also be booked under terror act. If you find any digital evidence that these people were planning this and other people knew about this, those people are terrorists and they need to be booked. The message needs to go of zero tolerance of any support in any way, shape or form to terrorism.
But then do I then broad brush anybody and everybody who was in their connect as a terrorist or as a radical, Ratan Chardaji? How do we tackle this? Because if there are many more hiding in plain sight who will go quiet now, like a Muzammil could wait for 15 years and he was willing to wait for a few more years. It was Umar Nabi, now we are given to understand, who was a restless one. So what do we do? How do we understand that? How do we discern?
See, one is we have to recognize that the ideology itself is the problem. Anybody who agrees the ideology will become radical. You have to understand, first of all, and accept it, the bitter truth.
Right.
Secondly, those people who keep quiet are afraid of the community, that they will be targeted, they will be isolated. That's a hard fact. Because there are a good number of Muslims who are against it, but they are afraid to talk. So they will keep quiet. And it's not just here. Even if you look at Khalistanis outside, they are very small in number, but the gentle Sikhs keep quiet. So this keeping quiet is a bad quality of gentle people. But at the same time, when a university is formed and the owner or the promoter has a history sheet, is a history sheeter, then how can they get the permission? I think the intelligence at the ground level and easy way of getting these lands from a government, they
Right.
got 60-acre land from the state government. And then they had funding, they've got funding
Right.
from the state government. So all these things need to be countered, and to be honest enough that those who are, and biggest, I say, the promoters of these
Right.
people who cry for them, they should be held equally responsible. When they start getting punished, when they start getting
Right.
criticized by the people, then others will fall in line, and then these terrorists can be isolated.
Right. There are those who know how to use the system, use the laws to subvert the law and to subvert democracy. And they are past masters at it. So someone has to try and open up that playbook and do better than them to expose this lot. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our guests and to our viewers for tuning into this edition of The Right Stand and for joining us this evening. We're going to wind up on that note. Namaste.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmed Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. The founder of the Al Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said that his family members are in the Gulf and he might flee the country as well. So that is a threat that remains. However, the owner has been sent into 13 days custody and that remains imperative. He is a very, very crucial link here. As you know, Al Falah was truly at the center of all the terror that was emerging from this university, and we're yet to uncover what was really going on behind the scenes. For more on this, we have with us Ananya. Thank you so much for joining us, Ananya. We really are learning more and more about this Al Falah University. It only goes to show how far and wide this entire network had spread.
Well, absolutely. In fact, this is a big breakthrough that the Enforcement Directorate had as far as the funding of the Al Falah University is concerned. And the Al Falah Trust owner was actually taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate yesterday. And a 13-day police custody remand was granted after he was produced late last night before, in fact, the additional sessions judge at the Saket Court. And very important to highlight is that the court has noted that not only his family members are in the Gulf, but there is a big risk that he might flee the country. And that's the reason why custodial interrogation is necessary. Not only that, a small chunk, the Enforcement Directorate says and tells the court that a small chunk of the Al Falah ecosystem, which amounts to over 415 crores, is something that has been uncovered, and it could be much larger in nature, and that is why his custodial interrogation business. Actually, since he's somebody who knows about all the financial roots of the Al Falah Trust and the kind of funding that comes through the Al Falah University. And that's the reason why, in fact, this particular person needs to be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. 13 days of police custody remand is what has been granted. 14 days was actually sought. And that is something, that makes it very, very imperative as to what was this university actually in reality. Was it, in fact, a terror funding ecosystem? Was it a university that was fueling terror, or whether there are much more than what meets the eye, is something that could be uncovered by this multi-agency probe that is being carried out by, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate, the National Investigation Agency, and obviously the Faridabad and the Delhi Police itself.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now, as the probe into the Delhi blast, we're shifting our focus now, as this probe into the Delhi blast deepens, the NIA has uncovered a larger, more sinister terror conspiracy following two major arrests in the past 48 hours. Investigations now reveal that the group was modifying drones to develop rocket-based explosives for a Hamas-style attack in the national capital. A key breakthrough came with the arrest of Jasir Bilal Wani, who also is known as Danish, a Jammu and Kashmir resident and a key aide of Umar Nabi. He has been named an active co-conspirator, also accused of providing technical support. This includes the drone modification for a Hamas-style attack and attempts to build rocket-based bombs. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has arrested Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is the founder of Al Falah University, in a money laundering case as well. As you know, when it comes to the Al Falah University, when it comes to its records, its accreditation, its finances, there is a lot to unpack. There a lot remains unanswered when it comes to that as well. The arrest follows evidence which was gathered during the recent searches at locations connected to this entire terror module. Now, CNN has also accessed order which is sending the Al Falah owners to 13 days ED custody, as I just told you. The founder of the Al Falah University is in custody. Saket Court says his custodial interrogation is imperative to unearth the larger terror ecosystem, the Al Falah ecosystem. Saket Court also noted that the ED submission that only a small part of Al Falah ecosystem has been identified till now. And they've also said